Last week, a 68-year-old woman came into my office nearly in tears. She told me she couldn't lift her grocery bags anymore. She was eating chicken, drinking protein shakes, doing everything right, but her muscles kept disappearing. I looked at her food diary, and that's when I saw it. She was making the same mistake that 90% of seniors make. She was eating all the right foods, but at the wrong times, in the wrong combinations. And here's the truth that the supplement industry doesn't want you to know. Your body after 60 doesn't need more protein. It needs smarter protein. And today, I'm going to show you exactly how to unlock your body's muscle-building switch using foods you already have in your kitchen. I'm Dr. Elise, and for over 15 years, I've specialized in age-related muscle loss at some of the country's leading research hospitals. And what I'm about to share with you comes from recent breakthroughs at Tufts and Harvard that are completely changing how we think about strength after 60. Because here's what most doctors won't tell you. When you pair certain foods together, your body can synthesize protein up to 30% more efficiently. That means the salmon you ate for dinner, the yogurt you had for breakfast, they could be 3 times more powerful if you just knew what to eat them with. Now, before I reveal these combinations, I need you to do something for me. Hit that subscribe button right now, because what I'm sharing today could be the difference between walking upstairs with confidence or holding onto the railing for dear life 5 years from now. And trust me, the second pairing I'll reveal later in this video is something almost no one talks about, but it could be the key to reclaiming the strength you thought was gone forever. Let me start with something that surprised even me when I first saw the research: soybeans and brown rice. Now, I know what you're thinking. Doctor, that sounds like hippie food from the 1970s. But hear me out, because the science behind this combination is absolutely fascinating. Your muscles are like a construction site. They need specific building blocks called amino acids to repair and grow. But here's the problem. Most foods are missing at least one critical amino acid. It's like trying to build a house when you have all the wood but no nails. Soybeans are packed with an amino acid called lysine, but they're almost completely missing methionine. Brown rice is exactly the opposite. It has plenty of methionine but barely any lysine. Separately, they're incomplete. But when you eat them together, something magical happens. Those amino acids click into place like puzzle pieces, creating a complete protein profile that rivals a grass-fed steak. And for your aging muscles, this combination flips on the protein synthesis switch that's been dimming since you turned 50. But this pairing does something even more powerful than just completing proteins. Soybeans contain plant compounds called isoflavones, and multiple studies have shown these molecules actually calm down the chronic inflammation that's been quietly eating away at your muscle tissue for years. Think of inflammation as a slow fire burning inside your body. Every day it's there. It's breaking down a little more muscle, making you a little weaker. Isoflavones are like a gentle rain putting out that fire. And brown rice brings its own gifts to the table. It's loaded with magnesium, a mineral that over 60% of seniors are deficient in. Magnesium helps your muscles actually use the protein you're eating instead of letting it slip through your system unused. It also stabilizes your blood sugar, and here's why that matters. When your blood sugar spikes and crashes all day, your body starts burning muscle for fuel instead of building it. Brown rice keeps everything steady, so every gram of protein you eat goes exactly where it should, into stronger, more resilient muscles. Here's how I tell my patients to use this combination. Make a simple bowl with 1 cup of cooked soybeans. You can use edamame if that's easier to find, and pair it with 3/4 of a cup of brown rice. Drizzle a little sesame oil on top, add some scallions, maybe a soft-boiled egg if you want extra protein. That single bowl gives you about 30 grams of complete, high-quality protein, plus fiber that feeds your gut bacteria, plus antioxidants that protect your heart. No supplement can do all of that. And you can eat this for lunch, for dinner, even as a warm breakfast porridge. One of my patients started having this combination 4 times a week, and within 6 weeks, she told me her legs felt stronger climbing stairs than they had in 3 years. She wasn't working out more. She wasn't taking any new medications. She just changed how she was pairing her foods. Now let me move to the second pairing. And this one is a game changer for anyone dealing with joint pain, stiffness, or that constant low-grade achiness that makes you feel older than you are. Salmon and pumpkin seeds. I want you to think about inflammation for a moment. When you're younger, inflammation is helpful. You cut yourself, inflammation rushes in, heals the wound, and disappears. But after 60, for most people, inflammation never fully turns off. It's always there, humming in the background, slowly degrading your muscles, your joints, your tendons. This is called chronic low-grade inflammation, and it's one of the main reasons your body stops responding to protein the way it used to. You can eat all the chicken and eggs in the world, but if inflammation is blocking the signals, your muscles won't grow. That's where salmon comes in. Salmon is absolutely packed with omega-3 fatty acids, specifically EPA and DHA. These aren't just good for your heart. They directly tell your muscle cells to stop breaking down and start building up. Clinical trials have shown that older adults who consume marine omega-3s regularly experience a 20 to 30% increase in muscle protein synthesis after any kind of physical activity. That's not a small number. That's the difference between muscles that recover and grow and muscles that stay weak and sore. Salmon also gives you vitamin D, which most seniors are dangerously low in, and a compound called creatine that your muscles use for energy and strength. But here's where the magic happens. When you pair salmon with pumpkin seeds, you're adding a trio of nutrients that most people have never even heard of: zinc, magnesium, and plant sterols. Zinc is absolutely essential for testosterone and growth hormone production. Yes, even women need testosterone for muscle strength, and after menopause, levels drop dramatically. Magnesium helps your muscles relax and recover, reducing cramps and that awful next-day stiffness. And plant sterols support healthy cholesterol levels, which might not sound related to muscles, but cholesterol is the raw material your body uses to make every single hormone, including the ones that build muscle. Here's the simple way to use this pairing. Bake a piece of wild-caught salmon, and while it's still warm, sprinkle 2 tablespoons of crushed pumpkin seeds on top. Or make a salad with flaked salmon, leafy greens, and roasted pumpkin seeds. That single meal gives you around 35 grams of protein, a massive dose of anti-inflammatory omega-3s, and all the minerals your hormones need to stay in muscle-building mode. I had a patient, a 72-year-old man who loved to garden but had given it up because his knees hurt too much. After 2 months of eating salmon and pumpkin seeds 3 times a week, he told me he was back on his knees pulling weeds without pain. He thought it was a miracle. I told him it was just biochemistry. Now we're moving into the third pairing, and this one targets something most people never think about: your gut. See, you can eat the most perfect protein on earth, but if your gut isn't absorbing it properly, it's like pouring water into a bucket with holes. After 60, your digestive system slows down. You produce fewer enzymes. Your gut bacteria change. And this directly impacts how much of the protein you eat actually makes it into your muscles. That's why I'm obsessed with this next combination: Greek yogurt and quinoa. Greek yogurt is not just regular yogurt that's been thickened. It's been strained to remove excess liquid, which concentrates the protein to nearly double. You're getting about 10 grams of protein per 100 grams of yogurt, and it's rich in an amino acid called leucine, which is like the ignition key that starts the muscle-building engine in your body. But what makes Greek yogurt truly special are the probiotics, those live beneficial bacteria. These microscopic helpers do something incredible. They strengthen your gut lining, reduce inflammation in your intestines, and increase how much nutrition you actually absorb from every single meal. A healthy gut means the protein you eat doesn't just pass through. It gets broken down, absorbed, and delivered straight to your muscles. Now pair that with quinoa. Quinoa is one of the only plant foods on Earth that contains all 9 essential amino acids, making it a complete protein on its own. But it also brings fiber and a unique mix of plant compounds called polyphenols that act as food for your gut bacteria. Think of it this way. Greek yogurt delivers the workers, the probiotics. Quinoa provides the fuel, the prebiotics, and together, they create an environment in your gut where nutrient absorption skyrockets. I recommend this pairing especially for breakfast. Cook half a cup of quinoa the night before, and in the morning, top it with half a cup of Greek yogurt, some berries, maybe a drizzle of honey. That bowl gives you around 20 to 25 grams of complete protein, billions of probiotics, and fiber that keeps you full and your blood sugar stable for hours. One of my patients used to feel exhausted by 10 a.m. every single day, even though she was eating breakfast. I switched her to this quinoa and yogurt combination, and within 2 weeks, she told me her energy lasted all the way to lunch without any crashes. That's the power of absorption. It's not just what you eat, it's what your body can actually use. Let's move to the 4th pairing, and this one is for anyone who feels like their muscles are there, but the energy isn't. You know that feeling when you want to do something, go for a walk, play with your grandkids, but your body just feels drained? That's often not about muscle mass. It's about muscle fuel. And this combination targets that directly: lean beef and lentils. Now, I know red meat has gotten a bad reputation, but lean beef is one of the most concentrated sources of nutrients your muscles desperately need. First, it's loaded with creatine, a compound that helps your muscles store and use energy. Think of creatine as the battery inside your muscle cells. Without it, even if you have the muscle, it doesn't have the power to contract strongly. Beef also gives you heme iron, the kind your body absorbs most easily, which carries oxygen to your muscles so they don't fatigue as quickly. And then there's vitamin B12 and zinc, both critical for turning the protein you eat into actual muscle tissue and for keeping your nerves healthy so your brain and muscles communicate properly. But eating just beef isn't the full picture. That's where lentils come in. Lentils bring plant-based protein, slow-digesting carbohydrates that give you steady energy without blood sugar spikes, and folate, which works with B12 to build healthy red blood cells. More red blood cells mean more oxygen delivered to your muscles, which means more endurance and less fatigue. Lentils are also packed with antioxidants that neutralize the free radicals generated whenever you move or exercise, reducing soreness and speeding up recovery. Together, lean beef and lentils create a meal that doesn't just build muscle. It powers it, oxygenates it, and protects it. Here's my go-to recommendation. Make a simple beef and lentil stew. Brown some lean ground beef or cube steak, add cooked lentils, diced tomatoes, carrots, celery, and your favorite herbs. One hearty bowl gives you 35 to 40 grams of protein plus iron, B vitamins, and fiber. Or keep it even simpler. Grill a small steak and serve it over a bed of warm lentils with a squeeze of lemon. I had a 65-year-old patient who loved hiking but had to stop because she felt too weak on the trails. After adding this beef and lentil combination to her meals twice a week for about 8 weeks, she called me from the top of a trail she hadn't been able to finish in 2 years. She said she felt like she had her body back. That's what proper muscle fuel can do. Now, let's talk about something most people completely overlook when they think about strength: the scaffolding. Your muscles don't work in isolation. They're connected to bones by tendons, and bones are connected to each other by ligaments. If that scaffolding is weak, brittle, or inflamed, it doesn't matter how strong your muscles are. You'll still feel stiff, you'll still be prone to injury, and everyday movements will still hurt. That's why the 5th pairing is so crucial. Bone broth and vitamin C-rich vegetables, like bell peppers, broccoli, or kale. Bone broth is made by simmering animal bones for hours, sometimes a whole day, and that slow cooking releases collagen peptides, glycine, proline, and a compound called glucosamine. These are the literal building blocks your body uses to repair tendons, ligaments, and cartilage. Studies published in the journal Nutrients have shown that older adults who supplement with collagen peptides experience significant improvements in joint comfort and even small increases in muscle mass when they combine it with light exercise. But here's the catch. Collagen alone isn't enough. Your body can't turn those peptides into strong new tissue without vitamin C. Vitamin C acts as the construction foreman. It takes those raw materials and actually builds them into functional collagen fibers. Without it, the building blocks just sit there unused. That's why pairing bone broth with vitamin C-rich vegetables is so powerful. Bell peppers have more vitamin C than oranges. Broccoli and kale are loaded with it, plus antioxidants that fight the oxidative stress that damages your joints from the inside. Together, bone broth and these vegetables create the perfect environment for rebuilding the connective tissue that holds your body together. I tell my patients to make this pairing a regular habit. Sip a warm mug of bone broth alongside a big salad full of bell peppers, broccoli, and leafy greens. Or make a vegetable soup using bone broth as the base, loaded with colorful veggies. You're getting the collagen peptides and the vitamin C in the same meal, and your body knows exactly what to do with them. I had a patient who had been dealing with chronic knee pain for years. She tried physical therapy, she tried supplements, nothing really worked. I told her to start drinking bone broth with vitamin C vegetables every day. Within 6 weeks, she told me the stiffness in her knees had decreased so much that she could kneel down to tie her shoes without wincing. That's the power of rebuilding your scaffolding from the inside out. Let's move to the 6th pairing, and this one is about energy stability. One of the biggest problems I see in older adults is erratic blood sugar. They eat a meal, their energy spikes, then an hour later they crash and feel exhausted. This roller coaster doesn't just make you tired. It actually interferes with your muscles' ability to absorb and use protein. When your blood sugar is all over the place, insulin stops working properly. And insulin is the hormone that drives amino acids into your muscle cells. Without stable insulin, protein just floats around in your bloodstream unused. That's where this pairing comes in. Fermented cottage cheese and sweet potato. Cottage cheese is one of the most protein-dense foods on the planet. You're getting about 14 grams of slow-digesting casein protein per 100 grams. And casein releases amino acids into your bloodstream slowly over several hours, keeping a steady supply going to your muscles. When cottage cheese is fermented, it also carries probiotics that improve your gut health and, fascinatingly, improve your insulin sensitivity. That means your muscles can actually take up and use the protein more efficiently. Cottage cheese is also rich in calcium and phosphorus, both essential for strong bones and proper muscle contraction. Sweet potato is the perfect partner. It's a complex carbohydrate that breaks down slowly, giving you steady energy without the blood sugar spikes that sabotage insulin function. It's also loaded with potassium, which helps balance sodium levels, reducing blood pressure and preventing muscle cramps. And the beta-carotene and antioxidants in sweet potatoes reduce oxidative stress in your muscle tissue, speeding up recovery after any activity. Together, fermented cottage cheese and sweet potato deliver a meal that fuels your muscles steadily while feeding them exactly what they need to rebuild. Here's how to make this pairing simple and delicious. Bake a medium sweet potato until it's soft, then top it with half a cup of cottage cheese and sprinkle some fresh herbs or a pinch of cinnamon on top. Or mash the sweet potato and mix it directly with the cottage cheese for a creamy, protein-packed side dish. That single meal keeps your blood sugar stable, your amino acids flowing, and your muscles replenished. I had a patient who was pre-diabetic and struggling with muscle weakness. Her blood sugar was spiking and crashing all day, and she felt constantly exhausted. I told her to replace her usual snacks with this sweet potato and cottage cheese combination. Within a month, her blood sugar stabilized, her energy improved, and she told me she felt stronger doing her daily walks than she had in years. Stable blood sugar is the foundation for everything else to work. Now, let's talk about blood flow, because even with perfect nutrition, if your blood isn't circulating properly, those nutrients never reach your muscles. After 60, your blood vessels naturally become less flexible, circulation slows down, and that means less oxygen and fewer amino acids are delivered to the tissues that need them most. This makes exercise feel harder, recovery take longer, and muscles weaker even when you're doing everything else right. That's where the 7th pairing comes in. Beetroot and walnuts. Beetroot is famous in sports nutrition, and for good reason. It's packed with dietary nitrates, which your body converts into a molecule called nitric oxide. Nitric oxide relaxes and widens your blood vessels, improving circulation, lowering blood pressure, and enhancing nutrient delivery to your muscles. Studies in older adults show that regular beetroot consumption improves walking distance, endurance, and how hard exercise feels. Essentially, it makes everyday movements easier. Walnuts complement this perfectly because they're rich in arginine, another amino acid your body uses to produce nitric oxide. They also deliver omega-3 fatty acids in the form of ALA, plus vitamin E and polyphenols that protect your blood vessels and reduce oxidative stress in muscle tissue. Together, beetroot and walnuts act like a highway system for your muscles, ensuring the protein you eat actually arrives where it's needed. Here's the simplest way to use this combination. Make a beetroot salad. Roast or steam some beets, slice them up, and sprinkle with crushed walnuts, a little olive oil, and a squeeze of lemon. Or blend cooked beets with a handful of walnuts, some yogurt, and a touch of honey for a powerful smoothie. That single serving boosts your circulation, delivers healthy fats, and protects against the inflammation and free radical damage that accelerate muscle loss with age. And now we come to the 8th and final pairing. And this one might be the most underrated of all because it works while you sleep. Most people think muscle building happens in the gym or at the dinner table. But the truth is, the most important repair and growth happens at night while you're resting. The problem is, after 60, your body's natural nighttime surge of growth hormone weakens dramatically. That's why many older adults wake up feeling stiff and sore, even when they haven't done anything strenuous. This final pairing turns your sleep into an active recovery period. Casein-rich milk and tart cherries. Casein is a slow-digesting protein found in milk, and unlike fast proteins like whey that spike and disappear quickly, casein releases amino acids into your bloodstream slowly over 6 to 8 hours. That means, while you're sleeping, there's a steady drip of leucine and other building blocks feeding your muscles all night long, keeping muscle protein synthesis turned on and reducing overnight breakdown. Milk also brings calcium and phosphorus for bone strength and muscle contraction, plus natural tryptophan that helps improve sleep quality. But here's where cherries make this pairing extraordinary. Tart cherries are loaded with potassium, magnesium, and anthocyanins, pigments that calm inflammation and reduce oxidative stress. But even more interesting, tart cherries contain natural melatonin, the hormone that regulates your sleep-wake cycle. Studies in older populations show that tart cherry juice improves sleep duration and reduces next-day soreness after activity. So you're getting deeper, more restorative sleep, which is exactly when your muscles do their best repair work, plus the amino acids they need to actually rebuild. Together, a glass of warm milk and a handful of tart cherries before bed, or a smoothie blending both, becomes more than a snack. It's an overnight recovery system working silently while you dream. So there you have it. 8 powerful food pairings that can completely transform how your body ages. Soybeans and brown rice completing your amino acids. Salmon and pumpkin seeds, calming inflammation and supporting hormones. Greek yogurt and quinoa supercharging absorption. Lean beef and lentils refueling your muscle energy. Bone broth and vitamin C vegetables rebuilding your connective tissue. Cottage cheese and sweet potato stabilizing your blood sugar. Beetroot and walnuts improving circulation. And finally, milk and cherries turning your sleep into a muscle-building powerhouse. None of these are exotic superfoods or expensive supplements. They're ordinary ingredients arranged in extraordinary ways, meals you can start making today with what's already in your kitchen or what you can pick up at any grocery store. That's the beauty of this approach. It's not about restriction or deprivation. It's about strategy, about understanding how your body works after 60 and giving it exactly what it needs to stay strong, mobile, and independent. I want to hear from you. Which of these pairings are you most excited to try? Which one surprised you the most? Drop a comment below and let me know, because I read every single one. And your questions help me create better content for this community. And if you found this video helpful, do me a favor. Share it with someone you care about, a parent, a friend, a neighbor who might be struggling with weakness or muscle loss. Small changes at the table truly can create massive changes in life. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications, because every week I'm bringing you science-backed strategies to help you stay strong, healthy, and thriving after 60. This is Dr. Elise reminding you that age is just a number, but strength is a choice. Take care of your muscles and they'll take care of you. I'll see you in the next video.